Hello, hello. Good morning. 1 2 1 2 3. I think that sounds okay. For whatever reason, my microphone feels like relative to my face, it feels like much lower than normal, even though it's like the same setup that it's always been. I don't know why, but whatever. I'll run it and man, I'm ready. Just need to fix something. Alright. I was contemplating if I wanted to run a stream before I got my day started today. And I was just like, do I really feel like it? What am I even gonna play for an hour before I have to do shit, right? And get my day, whatever. Because I don't like streaming during the week. Because it's either I have my availability is deep in the morning, like deep into the early trenches of the morning. I'm talking about 4 or 5 a.m. And sometimes I just want to sleep and let my body recover from the treacherous training and allow my body to just go into the best state possible of rejuvenation and recovery and away from whatever afflictions of pain and punishment that I've facilitated upon myself from the previous week, from the previous day. But right now, the 9th week of training, which was last week, had to be a deload, and I ignored my body in such a way that it actually started screaming at me, for the lack of better words. The exhaustion in the form of cognitive exhaustion, physical exhaustion, almost physiological exhaustion, as well as emotional exhaustion. It also sort of intersected at once, and I remember that feeling from 2016 when I really just fell apart for a good amount of time, and it wasn't fun. So I learned my lesson, and I realized that every 9th week of training I have to do a deload, whether it's a full capacity deload of offloading or backing down. And I can't back down by 15-20%. I actually have to back down by 50+%. So it is what it is. And starting this week, I am going to be doing a static versus a static, a mixture of a first half static block and a second half dynamic block using bands. And the static block will have just purely weights. So I have to figure out the numbers, figure out the totals, but I think it'll be fun. Alright, cool. Let us run it. We're out here, boy.
Time you learn the bearing of the gods, and to assert yourself. For this I have employed the greatest of the Greeks, or what became of him.
This one's for you, Achilles.
For death and cold.
Interesting.
Nice. I think that,
More ringless.
I mean, a lot of the game is clearly RNG. However, I do have my slight suspicions that the game has a certain lenience and inclination towards synergistic boons. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like whenever there is a certain choice being enacted. The game, while it is employing a utility of RNG and like randomly generated runes, I have a sneaking suspicion that it's based on your initial choice. I could be wrong, but it seems like a lot of the runs that I've been documenting and facilitating have been bestowing a lot of synergistic choices that seem to be inspired by the boon that I initially picked. It's just speculation. I don't think that like my suspicions have any weight.
I can't.
And I don't know. It's so odd that it just so happens that in the runs that I pick Demeter for certain weapons and the things that I have on mind, like running a frozen weak build into like an Athena protective dash build, so that I can figure something out for my call, whether it be Aphrodite or Athena, and in my cast, I may or may not have to see what the horizon provides to me, depending on the run. My cast is the one that I usually can never figure out or plan for, simply because I don't use my cast often, unless the weapon itself synergizes with its cast. A lot of like what I do in these runs is just adapt, and I keep running it. I keep running, just because like what else am I supposed to do? It's a lot of like what I have to do in life, like of what I've gotten used to doing. I just keep running it. I keep running it. I keep going. I have to keep going. I keep adapting to whatever precarious situation comes forth and whatever demands it's facilitating. What the fuck is going on? And I don't know. Like I keep coming back to this game. I checked my hours. I have 385 hours as of like 3 days ago. And the reason why I keep coming back to this game is because it's like the swan song of like my life, when all I do is just keep running into these challenges with open arms and saying, fuck it, I don't care. Let me just run it. It's just fucking life.
More darkness.
Like, is 30 heat fucking hellacious? Yeah, absolutely. It depends on like what kind of difficulties that people choose. That's like a metaphor in life. It depends on what kind of difficulties people choose to partake in, so that they can grow regardless of the pain and punishment through such manufactured and deliberate and honestly, sometimes more often than not, unexpected difficulties. I think that difficulty, pain, punishment, they all have like their place in people's lives as like a tool that can serve the people as opposed to dictating people. And it just depends on like what the personality is of the person that we're referencing, right? Some people don't really care. Some people would rather just be like soft in the head forever and like it's whatever. It's fine. Some people are okay with being complacent, and like I don't think that's fine, but people have the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want. I'm not talking about like the linguistics of fine text related to whatever constitution or law that they have written in. I'm talking about like the ideological, philosophical discussion of freedom. They can do whatever the fuck they want. If they want to enact the freedom of being a stupid piece of shit, a complacent piece of shit, that's on them. I don't give a fuck. That's on them. Like, I know someone, this is back in 2019, I believe. Like, she was one of my homies. Like, she was dope. But like the problem that I have with her, even though she has like high credentials in terms of like the education that she has undergone, like there's no arguing that she's smart. There was really no arguing. Like, she should be considered to be a smart person. My problem is that when it comes down to people such as herself, right? She has no self-awareness to the point where she essentially became a byproduct of her parents. I don't know too much of like how her dad is, because like it seems as though she didn't care too much to speak about him. It seems like he was an observer, a passerby more than anything in the raising of her development, I guess. The facilitation of her development. She spoke more about her mother, and she had a tendency to complain more so than have any praise. And like, you know, it happens. It is what it is. It kind of just happens with the shenanigans of clashing values and raising adolescents and all that garbage. Especially when like the parent is conditioned, quite literally conditioning their child to be a second generation to facilitate the lineage at a highly prestigious name of an educational institute. So that being said, it's like I understand what her grievances were growing up, especially since I've known her since I was 12 until 2019. So 12. So 2007 until 2019. So that's 12 years. And like
should help keep me going.
The shame, the sad part is that she has like no idea that the very arrogance and ignorance and stubbornness that she has complained about regarding her mother, she has inherited, and she hasn't realized that. She doesn't, like, the thing that ended that friendship for me was her ignorance, her arrogance, and her stubbornness. The fact that, like, she let her degree, like how smart she is, enslave her and turn her into, honestly, a fucking idiot. And I'm sorry that I have to say that, because it's kind of just like, who the fuck am I to say that? Like, out of all people. Like, but at the same time, it's like, it's sad that, like, people will let these barriers, these certain thresholds, these these earned achievements just get in the way of, like, being a better person. Like, legitimately being a better person. And it's like, man, we had such a huge chance to enact a future of fruitful exchanges when it comes down to conversational topics and, like, the critical growth of our minds and, like, the very exchanges of, like, who we would be and who we are and who we will eventually be in the future. It could have been a very fruitful exchange, and she, like, nailed the stake in the coffin in me thinking that the people in my past are worth abandoning. And it is such a shame because I don't want to think that. I don't want to feel as though I have to continuously evade, continuously escape, continuously hide from the people in my past because I think that they are worthy of leaving behind, abandoning, and completely just, when the critical time comes, feeling the need to wield an aspect of destruction against them using my words. And it sucks because I don't want to feel that way. Why do I have to feel that way against people who I thoroughly enjoyed being with growing up, only to see that they have become, quite frankly, complacent pieces of shit? Like, why should I have to feel that way? It sucks. It's such a shame. Like, why do I have to cater towards other people's stupidity when they wouldn't have an iota of idea or awareness regarding their own behavior, and the fact that they're trying to enact and force their will upon others using that area, that perspective of stupidity, ignorance, arrogance, and stubbornness? I'm just like, bro, I don't think that things will What the fuck? Like, for me, the reason why I reference these particular examples and almost case studies from my past is because I think they're worthy of breaking down and, like, referencing and studying and trying to understand what the fuck went wrong with them. Like, why did I feel the need to abandon them? Why the fuck did I feel the need to just leave them behind? Why did I feel the need to escape from them? Is it, like, what kind of threat did they have to offer? Is it their threat of fucking stupidity? Is it their threat of complacency? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to understand why I feel as though I don't care enough to come back to them, even though I have come back to them before. And what was the stake in the coffin that, like, debilitated everything and debilitated and ended the friendship? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, there's a multitude of vectors and variables that can be pointed at. And it's like there's only so many there's only so many
So much for Tartarus.
variables as well as aspects of someone's life and personality that can quote unquote justify.
This heat.
But if I have to tolerate a person, like, am I really their friend and are they really my friend? Like, fuck, man. Friends are people who I want to support regardless of what their flaws are. I can accept their flaws no matter what. If I have to feel as though if I am finding myself in a precarious situation where I have to say shit about a person's flaws, I don't think I'm friends with them. I really just genuinely don't think I'm friends with them, or care about them, or love them. Like, how can I love someone that I'm talking shit about? That's fucked up. To me, that's betrayal. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. If something gets brought up to me about someone's like flaws and they're concerned and coming from a place of like holistic love and care, okay, fine, I'll answer them and I'll give them what my thoughts are, but I'm not gonna fucking start that discussion myself, because for me, like, I'm gonna walk with my friends in their journey and support them. Like, holy shit, man. Like, there's a difference between being a fucking cucklord who's trying to fix his friends and being a fucking legitimate friend who wants to support them in their journey of fulfillment and improvement. There's a fucking big difference. And the people in my past that I've abandoned, and everyone and everything that I left behind, and the life that I left behind, they don't understand that. Like, there's only one person, even that. There's only one person, if even that can conceptualize that idea. And it's like, that's just fucking embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
Tuned up.
Like, how these people, how did I grow up with them? How did I encounter such stupid fucking people who didn't know how to make use of all of the sources of passive and active knowledge being passed on to us and allowing us to inherit certain aspects of the past so that we can improve for the future? How did they just toss that aside and say, fuck it, I'm gonna be a fucking idiot for life? I don't get it.
It'll be my pleasure.
I just don't fucking get it.
See you.
Take care,
I got you.
Like, some of these people actually think
I got the
Like-
message that you need assistance, Zagreus.
that they're gonna advertise on like their public biographies on their respective social media that like they're critical thinkers, that they are searching and looking for meaning in life and willing to talk about that shit, and they're willing to challenge themselves. I'm like, and when I did challenge them, they fucked off. They completely fucked off, and like they responded so poorly, and they became such little fucking pussies. I'm like, bro, you can't just have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too, thinking you can praise yourself and be pretentious and fucking pat yourself on the back, acting like you're some critical dick ass choker. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't just say you're a critical thinker. You talk about the meaning of life and like all this stuff while challenging yourself, but at the same time, when you finally get challenged in such a capacity, you are just becoming a fucking child. And that sort of variable that I'm speaking on references so many fucking people that I left behind, because they're such fucking children. Like, dude, we are fucking adults. We have no time for this garbage where you are stuck in your fucking childhood because of how you were raised or what happened to you, what events transpired that left you in the battlefield, the war, that you never left. And like, what am I supposed to do about that? I don't care. Like, these people can suck a dick. It doesn't matter like how smart they are. It doesn't matter what it took for them to achieve the degree that they got. If they want to be a fucking idiot in life, that's gonna catch up to them more than anything.
Onward.
More than anything. And the same person that I was talking about earlier, about how she like inherited her stupidity, her arrogance, her ignorance from her mother. She was the same person, sure, or maybe she is still the same person who God, it's so hard to talk about something like critically serious and
Go, Sisyphus.
Hang on, Prince.
he's so fast. Fucking took off his goddamn plot armor.
Hey, you alright there, Zagreus?
Okay, so yeah, the same person from before, like there was a time in my life when, or time in our respective lives where she came to confide in me multiple times. One of those times where she was getting sick and tired of her friends, she was getting sick and tired of her network that she found to have befriend at work. She was getting sick and tired of all the people that she knew from the place that she graduated from. And she was getting sick and tired of everything, of all these people. I'm thinking to myself, like, have you given up? Like, have you... And I asked her, like, do you not have networks? Or do you not find opportunities to meet people? Do you not know how to meet new people? And something along the lines of, like, she doesn't know if it basically came down to the fundamental phenomena that people facilitate in their 20s, mid or late 20s, where they will spin this idea that it is very difficult to meet new people later in life. And no shit, Sherlock, it is. But that's what makes it worth it when you find someone who resonates with you, especially a fucking new person. Like, for me, I met someone later in life, back when I was reattending education during that era, but that person was a fuckwad, and they wasted my time, and they proved to me that they're a hypocrite, that they are not as smart as they think they are not as genuine as they think they are, and they are not as good of a man that they thought they were. They are one of the most fundamental case studies of hypocrisy that I have encountered in my life, and they don't want to acknowledge that because they cannot stand the idea that getting challenged and getting proven incorrect about what their fundamental values and fundamental ideologies and philosophies are simply hypocritical. They cannot stand that idea because it would force them to look at themselves and look at when they froze in the past, particularly when a certain person passed away, and they just froze. They completely froze, and they misinterpreted the idea of having to stand up and fight for the growth and survival of their family. They completely misinterpreted that. And I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything about that to them. Even when we were at the cataclysmic point of destruction where the friendship was ending, and I had to end it because they clearly didn't understand that everything that they were saying was hypocritical, and everything they did was hypocritical. It is what it is. I didn't say what I said regarding their past and how they were frozen because I know it would hurt them to the point of complete dismay and destruction. That is not my intention. My intention at that point was to make sure I understood where they were coming from. And I wanted to understand if they were redeemable. I wanted to understand if they were deserving of salvation. To see if they were worth my time even at the critical point of dismay and destruction. And unfortunately, they proved me incorrect. What happened was, after I decided to use everything of the information that they gave me, I realized that they were nothing but a disappointment, and I had to facilitate the grounds of making sure that I can properly send them off. And this person didn't respond. They instead texted me saying, "Hey man, you still owe my brother $50 for the laptop that you bought from him." And he was so delusional. He let his anger and his childish tendency and his stupidity and his stubbornness and his arrogance and his ignorance get to him because he wanted nothing to do with me and nothing but to inflict some sort of hellacious revenge. He didn't remember that I gave all of the money in that fucking envelope to him, and I told him, yeah, I was able to get the cash. So, I just want to make sure that since I had the cash, I didn't prolong the completion of this transaction between your brother and me. So he forgot that piece of shit, and I told him, and he checked, and he realized he was wrong. He didn't even acknowledge the fucking message that ended the friendship between me and him. What a fucking piece of shit. What fucking garbage. Just whatever sort of hellacious garbage and hellacious damage and hellacious hypocrisy that he wants to spin, I want him to just bring that and let that live in his network of friends and then let that burn into ashes. Because he's so stupid. His stupidity will just burn everything away. And the worst part is about this person, he thought that it was appropriate to go behind my back and try to overturn one of my compatriots by confiding in them and trying to talk shit about me behind my back to them. My compatriot thought, what the fuck ever, it doesn't matter. This person, it doesn't matter. So, and they didn't think it was important enough for me to be aware of it and understanding of it until a year later. Because for me, I was just I wanted to get that era done with, over with. I want to send it. Because this person just fucking betrayed me for no fucking reason other than paranoia and stupidity and the inability to accept that we had a divide in political beliefs. And this person just fucking, he's so out of his mind, he's so stupid, he's so arrogant that he can't understand that there are other people who doesn't have to resonate with his every facet of his life. He doesn't understand that. And he called me his fucking best friend. Really? You call me a best friend and you treat me like shit. You betrayed me and you conspired against me. You're a fucking insane piece of shit, man. What kind of darkness do you hold inside your heart to the point where you have to conspire against the person who you thought and called to be your best friend? You are a fundamental trash. You are fundamental garbage. You need to live with the garbage that you spew and exude. Come on, man. you are hiding in a network of people who don't deserve your garbage. And I fundamentally believe that. You are going to turn them into garbage just because you're there. I'm sorry. And so, there's not even that to stop at. Not only did he try to overturn my compatriot against me, he also tried to reach out to a person who he tried to convince me was a bad person, not a good person, not a good friend, because they facilitate a huge mask of anonymity with me. And I'm like, what the fuck ever, it doesn't matter. I respect them, they respect their privacy. Who are you to say what I do with my life with my friends? Who are you to feel entitled regarding information from other people? You're such a fuckwad. Like, who the fuck cares, you damn child? You have your ideological, philosophical perspectives on what friendship should be, and that's you. Go and burn your friends away with that. Do that and see how they feel. You are such garbage. This person, with all of that preamble out of the way, he contacted that person, friend requested them after the friendship between me and him ended. And I'm like, bro, you are such a manipulative piece of shit. You are such a hypocrite, and you are garbage. You deserve to burn yourself away from your hypocrisy. My God, like, what's wrong with you? I have nothing but disappointment, and it's just so disappointing. These fucking people think that it is okay to be so stupid. And it's like, what do these people expect me to do? Do they expect me to just submit to their will, and the will of their stupidity, the will of their arrogance, the will of their ignorance, and the will of their stubbornness? Like, what do they expect me to do? Like, do they think that I'm just gonna be like, yeah, sure, I think that while you are one of the dumbest people I've ever met, it is okay because, quite frankly, your childish tendencies believe that you are correct. Like, am I supposed to do that? I don't think so.
Sisyphus, Prince Ed, we're back.
I think I'm gonna die. I think this one's over. I gotta pick up a death defy if I wanna keep going. Which I cannot. I should have just gone with Artemis.
got stronger.
And like all of the shit that I'm like kind of complaining about, it's
Not
just,
really in a talking mood this time,
I know
Abby.
people are fucking, these motherfuckers have the nerve to be keeping up with my stream and my social media. I fucking know it, because the second that I started talking about this bitch, some of his vassals, one of his vassals or more, but true and tried, empirically, one of his vassals started reaching out again when I started talking about this bitch on stream. And I'm like, wow, what kind of coincidental timing is this, huh? Like, you motherfucker, I stayed away from you because your fucking friend, your piece of shit friend, betrayed me. Why the fuck am I gonna try and stay friends with a network that will only relay information to a fucking enemy? Like, fuck that, man. Like, I'm not saying that the person who reached out to me is a bad person. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they are friends with a bad person, and that particular friend, this person who reached out to me, will relay information back to a fucking enemy. Why am I gonna want to fucking deal with that? That is fucking garbage. Like, I can't be bothered. And so, I found it within myself to confront this person, and I was like, dude, it appears that you have tried to reach out to me several times. What is your objective in doing so? Why? And he was like, something along the lines of like, I just wanted to say hi. And I was like, why? What is your purpose in doing so? And he was like, nothing really. We haven't spoken in a long time. And I was like, all right, because that's enough of a justification to. He was being very suspicious. He wasn't giving information. He was being very sly. The whole interaction felt off. And I was like, dude, I will give you credence and I'll give you leverage, because that's enough of what you said was enough to be like, sure, fine. I said, all right, how are you? Or how are you doing? And he said, doing great, or some shit like that. And like, you motherfucker, you have been pestering me. You have been fucking annoying me. You have been reaching out like the garbage that you are, not leaving me the fuck alone, only to say that you're doing great. You're garbage. You are such asinine garbage. Like, it proved to me that I don't think that you are as good a person as I think you are. You are fucking asinine garbage. Like, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you waste my fucking time? You spend less than a minute responding to me, and then right after I say good, I keep on doing great, and then you don't even respond, let alone have the fucking like decency to ask me how I am, despite me asking you how you are. Like, how fucking dare you waste my fucking time? You fucking garbage. Holy shit. Like, I can see now that you are friends with this person for a reason, because you're all fucking garbage. Jesus Christ. It's such a shame.
Oh no!
It's such a shame that these people have no fucking awareness, have no fucking decency. Like, fuck off, dude. I'll burn you
Let me
with
do
the
this.
depths of my fucking soul. and I'll fucking incinerate you to ashes if you ever fucking try to infiltrate my life again. Like, these people think that they can just be so fucking dumb with no consequences. Like, Jesus Christ. And then they get fucking... They feel disrespected and they feel like I have done wrong to them for fighting back against their stupidity. Like, what? Are you high?
You missed me, Zagreus.
You should check the garden.
It's so odd, like, how these people operate. It is so fucking weird. I can never understand, and maybe I do understand, I just hate how, like, I do understand. I don't understand. I don't understand why they don't want to be, like, not pieces of shit. And it's simply because they're not aware. They're not aware that they're fucking garbage, and I understand. But when you start to confront these people on what flaws they have, they just break down, they lose themselves, they revert and regress to the child that they were back in, like, what, 5 through 10? Especially of, like, an era when they fucking just froze and had to do some stupid shit in order to move on. But really, they didn't grieve properly or whatever. You just got fucking stuck. Like, fuck off. Super Mario Odyssey. Like, it's just so questionable. So fucking questionable. Okay. Like, you know, honestly, I'm so fucking glad that, like, I left everything behind. I'm so glad I left everyone behind. Because they are such garbage. And why am I gonna want to try and somehow improve myself in the mix of all this garbage? It doesn't make sense. Wow, the weeds acted as a pretty dense object. But it is what it is, right? Like, we do what we can to do what we do, just so we can continue to keep going. That's just life. Huh. And here's the thing. To them, I'm probably just a fucking piece of shit. Honestly, to them, I'm probably just a fucking piece of shit. And it just is what it is. Like, what am I gonna do for these people? Try and be a good person to them when they're doing nothing but be terrible people to me? People have this very strange idea that in life you're supposed to be tolerant towards your friends. I'm just like, that's not friendship. That's just really not friendship. You accept your friends' flaws for what they are. And regardless of those flaws, you see beyond them, accept them for who they are. And you go with them in their journey to try and support them and help them facilitate the journey that they are on, and help them stand when they fall so that they can keep going, so that they can reach their own understanding of Valhalla or Nirvana. And it's such a shame when people fucking misconstrue what it means to be a friend and try to fix their friends. It's like, yeah, let's depart from each other, shall we? I still stand by what I said. I'm sorry for, like, leaving these people behind. I'm sorry for, like, all of the pain that I've inflicted upon them by abandoning them. I'm sorry. But I am not sorry for who I've become and who I've needed to become. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that these people feel that I left them behind for no reason. But I am not sorry for who I've become and who I needed to become. And still need to become. But yeah, it is what it is. That's just life. What the fuck ever, right? I'm done, I'm tired. I gotta get my shit started, so... until next time.